Good day everyone. We're going to discuss here about law, policies, and programs for Philippine women. The way I am Satea Mihilareta together with Angelica. So bear with us and let's explore the Philippine laws pertaining to women's rights, focusing on gender mainstreaming, political participation, forms of discrimination against women, goals, and development. At the end of this chapter, we're able to name the Philippine laws that protect and empower women. For us to have knowledge about a law that can protect us, especially as women. Second is to explain the importance of policies that protect and empower women. So we're going to know about the policies supporting women, empowering the rights of an individual to have insight that there has a law for an inequality, abuse, violence, discrimination of an individual, especially a woman. Third is to state the aims of these policies for women and for society as a whole. Mm, Women's rights can be perceived as a fundamental dimension of human rights that must be defended and also promoted. First, let us know about human rights approach. It says here that human rights approach is crucial for promoting and enforcing women's rights, particularly in areas like sexual and reproductive health care, gender-based violence protection, workplace, and school protection. It says that a human rights-based approach discrimination in the use of rights must be prevented, eliminated, and prohibited in any form of rights. Prioritizing individual in the most biggest challenge to stand at the rights is a power to have in a women. And there is a human right or law to protect against women. The Convention of the Elimination of Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the CEDAW 139, also known as the International Bill of Rights for Women. So it is the one of the core international human rights treaties of the United Nations, and it requires states parties to undertake legal obligation to respect, protect, and fulfill women's rights. Take a look at the notable policies and laws for women year by year. In 1975 to 1985, the United Nations Decades of Women focused on global women's issues including domestic violence, trafficking, sexual exploitation, detention, and armed conflict, addressing various forms of violence against women. In 1975, the CEDAW, adopted by the International Conference on Population and Development, highlighted the link between violence against women and reproductive health, urging governments to implement legal and policy measures against violence against women and girls. 1985 General Assembly Resolution on Domestic Violence was adopted. In 1989, the Convention of the Rights of the Child or CRC was adopted to safeguard children's The Convention of the Elimination of Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the CEDAW 139, also known as the International Bill of Rights for Women. So it is the one of the core international human rights treaties of the United Nations, and it requires states parties to undertake legal obligation. Any state or country that adopts the CEDAW must commit itself to ending discrimination against women. Specifically, a state must work to incorporate the principle of equality of men and women in legal system, abolish all discrimination laws, and adopt appropriate ones prohibiting discrimination against women. Second, to establish tribunals or other public institutions to ensure the effective protection of women against discrimination. And the third, to ensure elimination of all acts of discrimination against women by persons, organizations, or enterprises. The Platform for Action, the Beijing Platform for Action or BPFA, emphasizes that women share common concerns that can be addressed only by working together in partnership with men towards the common goal of gender equality around the world. It was result of the Nairobi Forward-Looking Strategies for the Advancement of Women held in 1985. The BPFA aims at complete participation of women, prioritize girls, children, indigenous women, women workers, and victims of violence in armed conflicts.
To ensure gender equality, the BFFA formulated the 12 critical areas of concern that needs urgent action. Number 1, the persistent and increasing burden of poverty on women. Number 2, the inequalities and inadequacies in unequal access to education and training. Number 3, inequalities and inadequacies and equal access to health care and related services. Number 4, violence against women. Number 5, the effects of arms or other kinds of conflict on women, including those living under foreign occupation. Number 6, inequalities in economic structures and policy in all forms of productive activities and in access to resources. Number 7, inequality between men and women in sharing of power and decision making at all levels. Number 8, is a mechanism at all levels to promote the achievement of women. Number 9, lack of respect for and adequate promote and protection of the human rights of women. Number 10, stereotyping of women and inequalities in women's access to steady participation in all communication systems, especially in the media. Number 11, gender equalities in the management of natural resources and in the safeguarding of the environment. And number 12, persistent discrimination against and violation of the right of the girl child.
To know the millennial development, what is millennial development? Sustainable goals, or what the goals of sustainable goals, or is it connected to millennial development? Or achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Goal 5 has the following targets. So there is a targets of goal 5 to have a gender equality and empowerment. Sustainable goals development connected in Millennium Development Goals. So this aims that tackle poverty and inequality by 2013. So there's a target in 2030. One specific goal is gender equality with associated targets.
Achieve gender equalities and empower all women and girls. Goal 5 has the following target. Eliminate all forms of violence against all women and girls in the public and private spheres, including trafficking and sexual and other types of exploitation. Eliminate all harmful practices such as child early and forced marriage and female genital mutilation. Recognize and value unpaid care and domestic work through the provision of public services. Ensure women full of effective participation and equal opportunity for leadership at all levels of decision making in political, economic, and public life. Enhance the use of enabling technology, particularly information and communication technology, to promote the empowerment of women. Adopt the strengthened sound policies and enforceable legislation for the promote of gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls.
So there's many laws and policies na pinatupad or designed for women in the Philippines. Filipino women have been active participants in almost every aspect of positive social change in the Philippines. The current laws protecting Filipinos' rights are the testaments of our foremothers. It determines to fight for gender equality. The formalization of women's rights started during the post